Hi, this is Jessica DeMassa in the Guidewell Insights Lounge here at Exponential Medicine. I am here with Alexx Henry. Alexx is the CEO of Blue Vishnu. And Alexx, we were talking a little bit about your company before we went on air.
Yes.
And so I understand that you've developed a new 3D capture system. And what that does is it basically, I guess, scans your whole body and takes pictures of your whole body and creates an avatar of you?
Sure. Well, we use a process called photogrammetry, and photogrammetry itself is not particularly new, but how we are looking to apply it is novel.
So tell me a little bit more about that, because one of the things you said that I found really fascinating was that you guys are trying to create avatars that help people live better lives.
Sure.
So what does that mean, and how does this apply to healthcare?
Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit. So we have the scanner, right? And the scanner itself is just imagine a cage full of cameras. We use about 100 DSLRs.
Okay.
And it captures your body in an instant, and it gets really high resolution modeling and textures of your body. And so what we do, we take that on a pipeline and we produce an avatar from that.
Okay.
So we're interested in two things. One of those things that we're interested in is how can we get everyone who wants an avatar, and that is actually predicated on the second thing, which is why would you want an avatar?
Okay.
So one of the things that we're really interested in is how we can actually take your 3D avatar and use it to influence you and actually motivate positive change in your life. And we've seen a little bit of, well, there's a lot of studies that show that that's very possible.
Sure.
And myself, I've had a personal experience with that, where I got scanned in January of this year, actually.
Okay.
And I saw my 3D avatar, and I was actually a little surprised at what I saw.
In what way?
Well, I have to tell you, I wasn't very happy with what I saw.
Oh no.
As it turns out, I see myself in the bathroom mirror every day, and I guess what I see in the bathroom mirror and what I see in the avatar are different. There's a little bit of a delusion there. That's probably a very good evolutionary delusion that I can see. But when I saw my avatar, I was able to see it from a distance.
Right.
And an interesting phenomenon. I wasn't ashamed of it, but I was able to step outside and say, well, we really need to do something about this person, because there's a huge gap between the person that I think I am and what I'm seeing, the ground truth, if you will.
Okay.
So I started to look at my diet, I started to look at my exercise regimen, and I made a few slight changes, and about 6 weeks and 20 pounds later, I got another scan and was able to compare them.
Okay.
So I actually have a clip of that so you can see.
Great. Can we see the clip? Let's take a look at that.
Good. So what you see is the first avatar is me in January.
Okay.
I weighed in about 183 pounds, and 20 pounds later, I got another scan. And what's interesting is if you had asked me what I thought I looked like, or what was my perception of myself, it would be the second one, if you asked me in January. So it's almost like the second scan is a quantifiable measurement of my delusion of what I look like. So the interesting thing is there's a perception of how we see ourselves, and then there's the ground truth. And so when you actually see that ground truth, it can be very motivational for change.
Excellent. And it's interesting that it was the virtual version of yourself that helped you see the truth about the reality of yourself.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting. So how do you see this applying in healthcare? I mean, you're obviously here at Exponential Medicine for a reason. You're speaking. So what is the application here in healthcare? That's
a good question. Traditionally, avatars are made for entertainment.
Right.
So the movie avatar, or blockbusters, if you need to scan an actor. So that's traditionally what this is used for. But I see that this is really can help people in a couple of different sectors right away. One of them is dermatology. So we get incredibly detailed photographic imaging of your body, and you saw from that scan of mine, it's almost 90% of my body. So let's say, for example, if you're predisposed to maybe a higher likelihood of getting skin cancer. We know that melanoma is one of the most deadly forms of skin cancer, but it's also the most preventable.
Right.
And the way we prevent it is by just doing a visual inspection. So just in a fraction of a second, we can get a very detailed photographic map of you in one state, and we can get differential scans to start tracking moles and the progression of those, and maybe flagging suspicious moles. we get that just with a very low effort.
Excellent.
So I think we can put that to use and really save lives.
Without a doubt. So one of the last things I want to wrap up with you, we had talked a little bit before about what kind of company you guys are, and you explained yourself as a tech company that got into the entertainment business with your technology, and now you're looking to get into healthcare. And I know this correlates to a trend that we're discussing at this conference, which is about super convergence. So talk to me a little bit more about that, and as far as what you see other industries coming from outside of healthcare. Give us some feedback about about coming into this sector of business.
Sure. Well, I think even beyond this sector, what Singularity is doing is they're focusing on exponential technologies or exponential growth in technologies. So particularly here in healthcare, there's so many different verticals that are growing at an exponential rate that it's impossible to be an expert at any one of those, and it's really difficult to even casually keep up on those things. So getting all of us together in a room, I myself have an entertainment background, and now we see this opportunity to really do some good in the healthcare sector. So just having conversations with other experts and just the interconnectivity is super helpful for bridging the gaps in that exponential growth.
So I'm going to flip it back the other way. What are you going to take back with you from this conference that you've seen so far?
I had an amazing conversation last night with somebody who did work in satellites, and actually was talking about how that one of the biggest revolutions in satellite imaging was actually getting not just the visual bandwidth, but the entire spectrum, like a hyperspectrum of light. So that includes thermal and all the way up to ultraviolet.
Wow.
And so we got to talking, and it seems that it may be really valuable for us to collect other spectrums besides the visible spectrum in our scans. So we're going to go back, we're going to do some experimenting, and maybe actually start capturing different data and using those to maybe, for example, do more advanced tracking of skin conditions even before it would be photographically accessible.
Wow.
All that because of a conversation over dinner at xMed.
That is the magic of xMed, quite honestly.
Absolutely.
It is the magic of xMed, is these collisions between people and industries and different ideas. So, well, thank you so much. I want to thank you, Alexx, for dropping by and for demoing your tech for us, and I can't wait to create an avatar of myself.
Can't wait for that as well.
Thank you. And thank you so much for joining us here in the Guidewell Insights Lounge at Exponential Medicine. I'm Jessica DeMelsa.